Hare Krishna, we have read till text 31. In the last video, we read how Arjun's whole body was trembling and he was unable to stand any longer on the battlefield. He could see the war only as a misfortune to all. He also expressed himself to Krishna, saying that he cannot see how any good can come from killing people with whom he shares blood relations. The feeling of compassion and sacrifice were so strong within him that he was ready to sacrifice his rightful kingdom and go and live a secluded life of frustration in the forest. Now we will continue further. Text 32 to 35. किं नो राजेन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषाम् अर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगः सुखानि च तैमेवस्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्या पितरः पुत्रास् तथैव च पितामहः मातुला श्वशुरा पौत्रा शाल्याः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान् न हन्तुम् इच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदना अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतोः किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीतिः स्याज् जनार्दन. Translation. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Purport. Arjun has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasures for cows and the senses. By using this significant word, Arjun indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjun's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may covet. But when one takes the opposite way, namely, when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entity are satisfied. Arjun's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjun fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since a devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept a far thing. Arjun did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This fact is disclosed in following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjun did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjun wanted to excuse them. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.